The Bavarian Order of Saint Hubert is a Roman Catholic dynastic order of knighthood founded in 1444 or 1445 by Gerhard VII, Duke of Jülich-Berg. He sought to commemorate his victory over the House of Egmond at the Battle of Linnich on the 3rd of November, which is Saint Hubert's Day. The establishment of the order occurred during a long-term, intermittent territorial dispute, initially between the Dukes of Jülich and the Dukes of Guelders, who were descended from a female line of the House of Jülich. The dispute began in the 1430s, when Arnold, Duke of Gelderland, claimed the Duchy of Jülich and the county of Ravensberg, and was resolved in the 1614 Treaty of Xanten, which established the United Duchies of Jülich-Cleves-Berg of the counties of Ravensberg and Mark with the Duchies of Cleves, Jülich and Berg. In 1778, Charles Theodore, Duke of Jülich and Berg and the Count-Elector Palatine, succeeded his childless cousin Maximilian III Joseph, Elector of Bavaria, and brought the order to Bavaria. Initially, the order was open to men and women, although limiting the number of male companions to 60. It commemorated the conversion of Saint Hubert and his standing as the patron saint of hunters and knights. Over time, the award had other uses as a reward for loyalty to the monarch and service to the princely state. History. Foundation. Sources agree that the Order of Saint Hubert honors a military victory of the Duke of Jülich on Saint Hubert's Day, the 3rd of November 1444. Sources differ on the specific date of establishment of the order, whether it celebrated the victory at the Battle of Linnich between Gerhard VII of Jülich and Arnold of Egmond, or commemorated the battle at a future date. Consequently, the date of the founding depends on the source. Still other sources date the founding of the order as late as 1473 or 1475. 20th century investigation has helped to clear up some of the confusion. The original Latin statutes of the foundation use Good Friday, in this case the 26th of March 1445. Furthermore, there is clear written evidence that the order existed prior to March 1445. The original German statutes were dated immediately after the battle. It is also possible that Gerhard proclaimed the establishment of the order immediately after the victory of his knights at Linnich, but the documents were not drawn up until later, leading to discrepancy in the dates of 1444 or 1445. To further obfuscate the date of founding, Gerhard's son, William III, renewed the order upon his own succession to the ducal dignities in 1475, in the so-called New Statutes, which were prepared in Latin and German. These remained the governing documents of the order until 1708. In this confirmation probably lies the root of confusion over the date of the order's foundation. Initially the order was a knightly brotherhood, reflecting the overlapping religious and military aspects of medieval court life. Saint Hubert was the patron saint of hunters and knights. The founding of the Order of the Golden Fleece in the early 15th century started a trend in confraternal princely orders. The purpose of these, whether established by monarchs or princes, was to foster loyalty to a sovereign, replacing to the old chivalric orders developed in the Crusades. Although some historians classify the Order of the Saint Hubert as a confraternal order, during its 600-year life, its purpose changed as the fortunes and needs of the Dukes of Jülich and Berg and the successors changed. Order under the House of Jülich. When Reinhold IV, Duke of Guelders, died in 1423, his nephew Arnold inherited the dukedom. Arnold's cousin, Adolf of Berg, inherited territories near Liege. Arnold believed that Adolf had inherited the better of the two properties, and covered coveted it for himself. He tried to take it by force and failed. A compromise was reached by which the two agreed to a truce. Adolf of Berg died in 1437, and his cousin, Gerhard IV, the Duke of Jülich and Count of Ravensberg, inherited both the liege properties and the Duchy of Berg. Arnold reasserted his old claim, maintaining that the truce to which he and Adolf agreed was no longer valid, and prepared to take the duchies by force. Confident in his right to the inheritance, Gerhard met Arnold in battle at the village of Linnich, in the county of Ravensberg. He and his knights defeated Arnold and his knights on Saint Hubert's Day in 1444. In celebration, Gerhard declared the founding of the order, to reward his loyal and victorious knights. The order remained in collateral branches of the family of the Dukes of Jülich and Berg until 1521, when the male line holding the two duchies and the county of Ravensberg became extinct. A daughter, Maria von Gelden, remained to inherit the duchies and the county, but, under the Salic law practiced in the northwestern German states, women could only hold property through a husband or guardian. Consequently, the territories passed to her husband, who was also her distant relative, John III, Duke of Cleves and Mark. The couple had 3 daughters, one of whom, Anne of Cleves, married Henry VIII of England in 1540, and one son, Wilhelm, who subsequently inherited the duchies and the administration of the order. The duchies included most of the present-day North Rhine-Westphalia that lay outside the ecclesiastical territories of the electorate of Cologne and Munster. Wilhelm was known as Wilhelm the Rich. Order under the House of Wittelsbach-Palatine. In March 1609, Duke John William of Jülich-Cleves-Berg died childless. Both Duke Wolfgang William of Palatinate-Neuburg and Elector John Sigismund of Brandenburg claimed the territories. In the subsequent succession chaos, the order fell into disuse. By the late 17th century, the Duchy of Jülich passed into the jurisdiction of the Prince-elect Johann Wilhelm, Duke of Neuburg, who descended from a cadet branch of the Palatine line of the House of Wittelsbach. In May 1708, he restored the Order of Saint Hubert and assumed the position of Grand Master for himself. To reward loyalty and service, he conferred the Cross of the Order on several of his courtiers. He also gave the recipients generous pensions on the condition that a tenth be set aside for the poor, and a significant sum be distributed on the day of the reception into the order. In 1777, the death of Maximilian III Joseph of Bavaria without a legitimate male heir ended the main line of Wittelsbach. After the War of the Bavarian Succession, a brief and relatively bloodless contest, Charles Theodore inherited his cousin's dignities. The order moved with the new elector to Bavaria, where it eventually was confirmed again on the 30th of March 1800 by Maximilian IV, Elector of Bavaria. In the French Revolutionary and Napoleonic Wars, the order functioned primarily as a military order, similar to the military order of Maria Theresa, the Order of Leopold. The present head of the House of Wittelsbach, Franz Bonaventura Adalbert Maria, Duke of Bavaria, is the current Grand Master of the order. Structure and requirements. Initially, hierarchy of membership was relatively flat. The statutes called for a Grand Master, in this case the Duke of Jülich, 4 masters, and a Provost, or Arms Master. Of the 4 masters, 2 were required to be representative of families of the Duchies of Jülich-Berg. The origins of the others had no geographic limitations. The masters were the clearinghouse for membership. They investigated the admission of new members and any alleged infractions by the existing membership. The Provost, a weapons master, maintained the weapons and arms of the Brotherhood, and himself wore a special medallion. The order was open to men and women, and both genders were entitled companions. Until 1476, there were no limits on the number of companions to be admitted, but that year, with the new edition of the order's statutes, the Duke limited the number of men to 60. Unlimited women could be admitted. The editions of the order's statutes, 2 in Latin and 2 in German, established similar requirements for membership. The Latin editions stipulated that a man be of noble birth, 8 generations of noble grandparents, and of unblemished reputation. The German versions required that only 4 grandparents of the man be noble. Women were to be spouses of a companion. In the 1476 versions of the statutes, both Latin and German, female members of the Duchess's household could be admitted even if the husbands were not members or if the women were single, but were required to resign if they left the service of the Duchess. The exception to this clause provided for the continued membership if the husbands became companions of the order, restructuring under Maximilian Joseph IV. In confirming the order on 18 May 1808, the King of Bavaria declared the order to be the first in the kingdom and linked it to the Order of Civic of Merit. He limited membership to 12 knights from the ranks of counts and barons, excluding himself as Grand Master, members, who may be nominated by the sovereign. Entrance fees were 200 gold ducats for princes. Those under the rank of prince paid an entrance fee of 100 silver ducats, which amounted to 120 Reichstaler. The silver Reichstaler was 29.44 grams of 989 fineness. He also established a dress costume for festival days, which included not only the insignia of the order, but a black collar with a sash, narrow, short breeches with poppy-colored garters and bows, a short black cape, a sword, and a plumed hat. Ludwig II was laid in state and was buried in this apparel. Collars, badges and stars. The gold enameled cross lies in a white field, and surmounted by a crown. On one side is represented the conversion of Saint Hubert, with the legend in Trauvast in Gothic letters. On the reverse lies the imperial orb and the Latin inscription In Memoriam Recuperate Dignitatis Vitae 1708. Originally, it consisted of a collar and a pendant jewel. The Jülich collar consisted of stylized horns, intertwined with a cloud-like figure 8. The jewel depicted a relief of the conversion of Saint Hubert. Its overall design alluded to the saint as the patron of hunters, and thus the patron of knights. The Great Cross was only worn on special days. On all other days, a smaller cross must be worn, and the member was fined 20 thalers for any and each omission. The smaller cross was decorated appropriately for its size. The collar of the order under the Wittelsbach dynasty consisted of 44 gold links, 22 of which consisted of a rectangular representation of the conversion of Saint Hubert in open relief surrounded by a gold and white enamel frame. These alternated with 22 other links consisted of the intertwined initial letters of the motto in Trauvast I, E, I, T and V in Gothic letters radiating small golden rays, each of these links being alternatively enameled red or green. For the center rectangular link hung a white enameled Maltese cross, each arm strewn with numerous small golden flames, and each point of the cross was tipped with a small gold ball. Between each arm of this cross were 5 straight gold rays, and in the center of the cross was a round medallion bearing a golden representation in relief of the conversion of Saint Hubert against a green enamel background. The reverse of this cross bore the same design with this same representation but against a red enamel background. The sash of the order was poppy red moire with narrow green borders, but under the knot, at the ends of this sash, sash. These green borders as well as the ends of the sash were covered with gold metallic ribbon. Like the sash of the Order of the Garter, the sash was worn from the left shoulder to the right hip. The cross worn with this sash was a Maltese cross with narrow arms, also enameled white, strewn with numerous golden flames, with 3 straight rays between each arm, each point of the cross being tipped with a small gold ball. Between the 2 gold balls on the top arm of the cross was a 3-dimensional gold representation of the Bavarian crown, by which the cross hung from its sash. In the center of the cross was a large round medallion consisting of a small golden representation of the conversion of Saint Hubert against a green enamel background and surrounded by a wide border in red enamel with the motto "The Order" in Traverse in Gothic letters set with small diamonds on the reverse. In the center of the cross was a golden representation in relief of the imperial Auburn cross against a red enamel background and surrounded with a white enamel scroll-like border with the inscription "In Memoriam Recuperate Dignitatis Aviate." 1708. The star of the Order, worn on the left breast, was a radiant silver star of 8 points surrounding a gold, white enameled cross patte strewn with golden flames and with a round poppy red enameled central medallion bearing the motto in Traverse in golden Gothic letters and surrounded by a white enameled and gold border. Partial list of recipients. Recipients in Austrian service. These recipients of the Order of St. Hubert attained the rank of general in Austrian military service during the French Revolutionary and Napoleonic Wars. August Maria Raymond, Prince und Herzog von Arenberg, Graf von der Mark. Karl Joseph Franz, Graf U. Prince von Auersperg. Wilhelm Ignaz Cajetan, Prince von Auersperg. Heinrich, Count von Bellegarde. Anton, 1st Esterhazy de Galantha. Nikolaus II, 1st Esterhazy de Galantha. Nikolaus IV. Ferdinand Franz, 1st Esterhazy de Galantha. Karl Alois zu Fürstenberg. George IV of the United Kingdom. Louis Aloysius, Prince of Hohenlohe-Waldenburg-Bartenstein. Friedrich Karl Wilhelm, Prince Hohenlohe-Ingelfingen. Karl Wilhelm Georg, Landgraf zu Hessen-Darmstadt. Friedrich Joseph Ludwig, Prince of Hessen-Homburg. Karl Emanuel, Landgraf zu Hessen-Rheinfels-Rothenburg. Archduke Charles, Duke of Teschen. Francis IV, Duke of Modena. Archduke John of Austria, Archduke Louis of Austria, Joseph Radetzky von Radetz, Heinrich XV, 1st zu Rustplauen, Karl Philipp I zu Schwarzenberg, Franz de Paula 1st von Sulkowski, Herzog von Belienz, Alexander Suvorov, Maximilian Joseph I von Thurn und Taxis, Christian August Prinz zu Waldeck und Piemont. George I, Prince of Waldeck and Piemont. Diplomats Alexander Kurakin. French recipients Napoleon, Eugene de Beauharnais, Armand Augustin Louis de Caulaincourt, André Masséna, Nicolas Salt, Henry Jacques Guillaume Clark, Georges Mouton. Post-Napoleonic recipients Prince Franz Maria Luitpold of Bavaria, Prince Arthur of Connaught, Ernest Augustus, Duke of Brunswick. Grand Masters of the Order, compiled from various sources. Medieval Grand Masters of the Order: Gerhard VII, Duke of Jülich-Berg, William III, Duke of Jülich-Berg, William IV, Duke of Jülich-Berg, John III, Duke of Cleves, Wilhelm, Duke of Jülich-Cleves-Berg. Early modern Grand Masters of the Order: John William, Duke of Jülich-Cleves-Berg, Johann Wilhelm, Elector Palatine, Charles III Philip, Elector Palatine, Charles Theodore, Elector of Bavaria. Modern Grand Masters of the Order: Maximilian I Joseph of Bavaria, Ludwig I of Bavaria, Maximilian II of Bavaria, Ludwig II of Bavaria, Otto of Bavaria, Ludwig III of Bavaria, Ruprecht, Crown Prince of Bavaria, Albrecht, Duke of Bavaria, Franz, Duke of Bavaria.